Salzman. Joe Kaiser.
Absolutely.
Ron Page.
Spirit.
Thank you.
Okay. We've already had a moment of silence. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make the
Motion from Ron, second
I'll
from
second that.
Susan. All those in favor? Okay. If you want to speak as a property owner, we've got 3 minutes for you. If you want to come on up and speak.
If you'll pull the button up on the microphone, it'll turn on.
I don't have one. Do you have a time?
Name, address.
It won't be 3 minutes.
Thank
You'll be good. My name is Mike Conley. I live on Winnebago Circle. When you decide today on the mediation result, I hope all of you decide in favor of all the property owners and not to the 2 dock owners. I feel if you decide in favor of the 2 dock owners, you will open up Pandora's box in which property owners will decide to do whatever they want on their property in complete disregard to other property owners and to CB and SID rules and regulations. I am directly affected by the dock situation on Winnebago Circle. When I purchased my home in 2018, I could go down to my 32-foot dock, which is still the original 32-foot dock, and I could sit and enjoy a 90% plus view of Lake Thunderbird. I could also back my boat out without fear of hitting another boat, and I could swim around my boat dock. When the floating marinas came across Lake Thunderbird, all of that changed. The 2 docks were placed approximately 45 to 50 feet from the seawalls. Then they were pushed out an additional 15 feet. So the 2 docks now sit between 55 and 65 feet from the seawall. My 90% plus view of the lake has now been reduced to about 20%, but I do have a 100% view of the front end of a pontoon boat because one dock sits out about 55 feet from the seawall. I'm also concerned about my safety when backing out my boat because I can't see around the front of the dock that sits 55 feet out. If I want to swim, I now have to swim out past the 55-foot point to enjoy the water. Would I like to push my dock out to have better water? Absolutely. However, I can't. I would impede on my neighbor to the right of me, and he wouldn't be able to get in or out of his dock. If he pushed his dock out further, he'd impede on his neighbor to the right. It would be a domino effect if it just continued. Just think of the aesthetics if everyone did what they wanted. I knew what my water was when I bought my home, and I'm okay with it. I'm a retired military officer who likes living in an area with rules and regulations. I've lived in other communities with HOA rules, and I wish CB and SID were even stricter than they currently are. This is not just a me issue. This is a community issue that affects all property owners, whether they live on a lake, golf course, or a general lot. I would hope that you commissioners decide for the good of the community and not just for 2 property owners. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Commissioner vote for the settlement agreement. I've taken that all the commissioners have had a chance to read the settlement agreement. Is there any discussion on it?
Hey, David, we may want to have that read in total so that it's on the record for people to hear because of some of the things that must occur.
Go ahead and read it.
All right, the proposal for this document is memorialized the material terms of settlement agreement is Cherokee Village SID, #1, as well as the Parker Family Village Trust, Stephen
So
South,
speak up.
and Heather South, the defendants. To resolve the action, Cherokee Village Suburban Improvement District #1 versus the Parker Family Living Trust, Circuit Court of Sharp County, Arkansas, case number 68 CE-22-162. The formal agreement will be executed by the parties if Cherokee Village SID's Board of Commissioners approve the material terms of this agreement by a majority vote to occur within 7 days of the undersigned date. Parker and Southwood docks will be moved north by approximately 10 feet, northern location, portions of which will be situated on a portion of the lake that is adjacent to a Cherokee Village SID owned lot. Parties will prepare and execute all necessary access easements to ensure Parker and Southard and respective assigns and successors in interest will have access to the Parkers and Southard's docks over the CVSID owned lot. Docks will remain at a current length while situated at the northern location. That's number 2. Number 3, defendants agree that upon the district's dredging to the level that permits the defendants to properly use their boat goods, the docks will return to their original location and permitted length after removing any subsequent extension. That is, to the length originally approved by CVSID's former general manager, David Webb. Number 4, defendants will pay to initially move the docks to the northern location. Cherokee Village SID will pay to move them back to the current location if and when the cove has been dredged as provided above. If the defendant's cove hasn't been dredged in 2 years from the date of approval by the CVSID commissioners, the docks will remain in their northern location, and the Cherokee Village SID will pay costs associated with the defendant's relocation of the docks to the northern location. After the docks are moved to the northern location, defendants will submit receipts for moving the docks once they are available. Mutual release. Complaint. Number 5, mutual release. Complaint and counterclaim dismissed with prejudice. Number 6, both sides pay for mediation costs and attorney's fees.
Thank you.
Now, David, one of the things in here says that the former general manager approved the length, that the original length for their dock before the extension, which I cannot find any reasonable documentation that supports that, even after talking to Mr. Webb.
There's an email.
There is an email. There is an email out there that was presented in the depositions.
I missed that, I'm sorry. That's why I was very concerned, because we have rules that talk about the length of docks and the general enjoyment that the other property owners should be able to have in the event that we follow those rules.
Yeah, we gotta agree with you on that, but now,
But we're beyond that.
Yeah.
Ron. The lawyers on both sides have got this email. We've got this email between David Webb and the Southard people, Southard and Parkers. So it's a record, even though there's nothing written, there's nothing at the city. There was only a handshake, nod, wink, wink. We've got this email, and that's what's tying all this together.
Thank you. That's what I haven't seen, but it did irk me when I read this message. And the first thought I came to was, well, you want us, I'm talking about every property owner in Cherokee Village to suffer, to pay and move and destroy part of the lake by dredging it.
well, my thoughts on this after reading everything and going through everything and having to deal with this is, I cannot vote for this. It will set a precedent, and we just can't go. I mean, the judge cannot make a decision that sends us to mediation, and that tells me there's probably a problem in the court system. Because it's pretty much in black and white what we have presented and what they have presented. And I just don't understand why a judge cannot make a simple ruling on this. So my vote will be against this, and we do vote.
So if there's some wording or something that we need to do this vote with?
Well, if we had to do a counter to this memorandum, because it's nothing that I would ever support either, David, the counter would be, well, Southern and family and individuals who built that dock, you're welcome to remove it from Thunderbird Lake.
And here's the other thing, going through all the documentation and everything. It should have fallen back on the manufacturers of the boat docks, because they guaranteed the property owners that their lifts would work in that area, which they didn't. So instead, he took it upon himself to extend the dock out. That's where I had the problems. He should have went back to the manufacturer of the boat docks. and not come at Sid the way he did, and just do it as he pleased. And as I said in one of the conversations, we'll do as we please and we'll take the consequences later. Well, the consequences are starting to come up now. So that's the way I see it.
Well, I'm in agreement with that, David. What I don't care for, though, is people who potentially, if this occurs, could hurt the rest of the lakes within Cherokee Village.
Right.
Can I make a statement about mediation?
Sure.
I would say that, in my opinion, for mediation, there was at no time on the dock owner's side that they would even consider pulling their dock back. Even when conversation was given about full-time property owners or their neighbors, Mr. Southern hasn't had a boat sticker on his boat since 2021. He doesn't even have a boat at the dock. So really unclear as to what the fight is all about if you don't even have a boat in the water. It's just, it was ridiculous. It went on from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5:26. We never left. It was ridiculous. So what we went in, I believe Sid and us went into with the thought of how to rectify the problem to accommodate everyone was never in the other side's mindset. It was all about leaving them out as far as they are and then impeding on another neighbor for 2 years. That kind of seems ridiculous. So I don't believe that there was really ever a true thought of trying to come to a compromise. There was no give and take.
Through all these proceedings, that's the way I see it too, that it was their way or the highway, so now it's come down to our way. I need a motion on this.
Make a motion to reject the proposal.
Say it loud, please.
Make a motion to reject the proposal.
Do I have a second?
I'm second.
I have a second on the
You
motion.
want a third?
On a proposal to reject this offer, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those, okay, we'll do this in a roll call, how's that? Betsy?
Susan Judd,
No, reject the settlement agreement.
David Nebo,
No.
Ron Page,
Say
Ron, and you say aye.
No.
Okay.
Tony Stallsmith.
I reject it.
Oh,
The proposal is rejected, so it would be.
I have an email from Joe Kaiser who also states that he votes no for this proposal as it is outlined, was his word.
Did you say you abstained, Tony?
No, I said, the proposal was rejected, the proposal which means you're in favor of rejecting it.
Yes or no?
It means it's going to be the same thing.
We all mean the same.
Yeah.